Hello and welcome to my first in the series YouTube video going through Microsoft Flight Simulator flight training videos. Now I've made this series quite a couple of times before and I've made lots of mistakes, let's put it that way, but primarily among all of them was I just didn't think the audio was good enough. So I got a good microphone, got a microphone boom, and I've now set it up so that I can hopefully record good audio. Alright, yeah, you're still going to be hearing the squeaking of my chairs and stuff like that, me moving around, moving the yoke. But hopefully the humming and the echoes and some of that stuff is minimized in this video. Anyway, yeah, so what is this series about? This series is going to be about completing Microsoft Flight Simulators training. So I've never done this before in any Microsoft Flight Simulator that I've owned. I've always done like 1 or 2 courses in it, but I've never really finished, right? And I've never really tried to put myself through a full let's say private pilot training. I've just always watched videos online about little different parts of flying that I would want to learn, but I've never actually gone through the full training experience. So hopefully you guys will join me on this journey, and I'm gonna be doing it in the sense of I'm going from a private pilot license in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So the best way to do that is to go into the flight training module. So that's right here. Okay, so as I told you, I have recorded this series a little bit before this, but I just thought that the audio wasn't good enough. So I'm currently at 95%. However, I'm going to come back and redo some of these courses. But before we go here, let's just take a look back at all the training courses that are available. And I want to talk a little bit about how I plan to go through the training and complete the series. So, first off, we are going to be doing the basic handling course, right? So, that includes all the courses that I've kind of done already. Then we're going to do takeoff and landing, right? And then from there, we're going to do VFR navigation, right? And then from there, we're going to skip the glider training, airliner training, and bush pilot training, and we're going to come all the way down here to IFR navigation. So that should give us our, in the simulator, in a sense, a private pilot license with IFR certification attached to it, right? Okay, so let's look at what's in basic handling. So in basic handling, we're going to go through an introduction. That's just going to take us through how to set up the cameras and move the cameras around and how to kind of interact with the simulator, right? Then we're going to go through aircraft essentials, learning about the different surfaces on the aircraft. Familiarization flight, we're going to be already in the air. We're going to be taking a flight with an instructor, and then she's going to allow us to do some banks and turns and stuff like that. Then we're going to go into attitude and pitch, and that's just going up and down and see, pitching the aircraft up and down and see what different effects that has on the aircraft. And then we're going to go a little bit more deeper into turns and rolls, right, and how to do them properly, and then how changing the power settings is going to affect the aircraft, right? Then we're going to learn about straight and level flight, and then we're going to do an attitude test, right? It's just going to basically ask you to do some turns and some climbs and stuff like that, and it's going to be kind of evaluating your performance and how well you do it. Excuse me. Okay, so let's go into introduction. Alright, so for the introduction, let's look at this. So training. In the first lesson, we will focus on the basic simulator controls that will help you manipulate your aircraft, adjust camera position, both inside and outside the cockpit, interact with instruments, and open the toolbar menu. Opening the toolbar menu during flight interacting with the camera panel via the toolbar, using the cursor to highlight and interact with cockpit instruments, creating, saving, and accessing custom camera views. Okay, so that's gonna take about 5 minutes. Alright, so let's head right in. Okay, teaching us a little bit about the surfaces already on this loading screen. Alright, so we are at Sedona KSEZ, runway elevation 4,830 feet. Alright, let's go.
Welcome to Sedona. I'm Captain Jess Molina, and I'll be your instructor. For this lesson, we're going to start on the ground and focus on some basic concepts. Fundamentals every pilot needs to know before hitting the skies. This is your plane, a classic, the Cessna 152. Take a look around it. In the simulator, anytime you want, you can easily switch to cursor mode.
Okay, so I think cursor mode is talking about if you're using an Xbox controller or on an Xbox, but I'm currently on a PC, so I don't need to activate this mode. I'm just going to shake my mouse.
The cursor is handy for interacting with menus and cockpit controls or instruments. As you can see, activating the cursor also displays the toolbar. The toolbar is a quick access menu that allows you to control various aspects of the simulation. Try to find and open the basic controls panel.
Okay, so there's one thing I want to note, an issue that I had when I came into doing the training at first. At first, this window was not open, and you can see here I have some objectives, and it kind of gives me a little bit of a brief description of what I need to do. So say for instance, if it's going to tell me to push a button, it will actually tell me the button that I need to push over here. But when I came in at first, it wasn't open, so it would ask me to do something, and I was like, okay, what do I push? But then I kind of figured it out, and what I had to do was I had to come in here in the custom toolbar, and then I had to activate this objectives window here, right? So that's a quick tip. Okay, so what she wants me to do now is open the basic controls.
The basic controls panel is a useful reminder of the button layout for the devices you're currently using. Now try to find and open the camera panel in the toolbar. The camera panel allows you to access the various views and camera modes of the simulation. Go ahead and close all the panels for now. Right now, we are in the external view mode. Let's switch to cockpit view next.
Okay, so I'm just going to use this.
In front of you is the yoke, the primary means of controlling the aircraft. In the simulation, you'll be controlling the aircraft with your peripherals of choice. So let's hide the yoke for now.
Okay, so you saw me look down a while ago. What I did was I used my middle mouse button. So if I use my middle mouse button and click it once and release it, it now tracks the mouse, right? And I can move left and right, up and down. Another way to do this is to use the right mouse button, but with the right mouse button I have to click and hold, and then it tracks the mouse. The thing why I like to use the middle mouse button is because with the right mouse button, when you click it, if you have like external peripherals, there was a bug. I don't know if it still exists. I think it does, but it actually deactivates all your external peripherals, and you can't make any inputs on them while holding the right click button. So I just normally use the middle click like I'm doing now. Okay, so I'm just going to click on this to hide this.
Some instruments allow multiple interactions. For example, rotating a dial clockwise or counterclockwise. In these cases, you need to lock the cursor onto them in order to interact. For example, take a look at the clock in the middle of the dashboard. Go ahead and lock the cursor on it.
Okay, so this was a bit confusing to me at first, and I was like clicking on this and I was like, why is it not working? But what she's saying is this little dial in the lower left hand corner here, we should click on it.
Now change the clock time.
Okay, I'm just going to use the scroll wheel now, just to scroll.
You can unlock the cursor once you're ready. For now, we're done with the cursor, so go ahead and hide it. Alright, as we've seen, when you want to look around you, it's easy to rotate the camera. But you can also move it freely in the cockpit to get a better view of anything you want to see. Even through a window to look outside. Pro tip, once you find a camera position you like, you can save a shortcut to easily get back to that view anytime.
Okay.
Now, reset the camera to its original position. Then try switching to your custom one again. Alright, that covers all the main camera functions available in the simulation. Try to familiarize yourself with them a bit more. Then reset the camera to its original position whenever you're done.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go over what she just said and what she just asked us to do. And essentially I use the arrow keys to move the camera left and right, and then I can adjust like my seat height up and down, right? With the up and down arrows. Alright, let me try to move backward. I think that's shift. Oh no, shift just does the pitch. Oh, and control with the arrow keys. Okay, so yeah, shift and arrow keys does a pitch, and then control and arrow keys does like a quick look. Okay, so yeah, I guess we can go through this by going into our controls page in the settings, and we can look at what all of this does. But typically I would use an Xbox controller and use that to control how I move around the cockpit and stuff like that. So this is not so important to me. So I'm just gonna now reset my view using button 11 on my yoke.
Great.
Alright, and that's it. So that's our first video. We got a score of 10,000 points because it's just simple stuff, moving around the camera and things like that. Let's just look at here. So the way how it scores it is that for each action that the instructor asks you to do, they give you a rating on how well you did it, right? So there's some way inside the simulator that it's monitoring your performance, like what you're doing, and see how well you're doing it, right? So say for instance, if it asks you to maintain a particular altitude, if you go up and down above that altitude a lot or significantly, then you'll kind of probably lose points. So each time we go through a training session, we'll just come and review what we did and see how well we did, right? Okay, so thanks for watching. Hope you guys will enjoy this. This is my first set of videos where I'm talking in it, and I hope you like it, and please come back and watch the next one in the series. Bye.